This is Blackbird from Waffle Mutiny, and you're listening to the Escape Pod cast. This show was recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. Take it away, boys.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod cast,
we give our thoughts on Conquest.
Was it a galactic win or a galactic fail?
Would you give up with the galactic stuff already?
What? Honestly, Neil, I loved it.
Anyway, the Dark Troopers kit and the reworks for Imperial Remnant arrive.
And with it, Grogu disappeared from the game. I blame Sig.
But even that is overshadowed by the fact that we finally get some details on the Crancor.
Yes, we will cover the rework to the raid that is coming up and share the good news and the bad news.
Fatal joins us this week in our incoming transmission.
You may also know him as the Playbook from YouTube. And if you don't, well, you will after the interview.
And a brand new Helle and The Noob debuts as we start a new month of the show.
This and Patreon's choice on the bridge. One more thing. Thank you everyone for the surprise stream last week. I wanted to just put that in the open of the show too, Neil. I'm sorry.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod cast news.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Escape Pod cast. I'm your host, the Nev, and as always, I'm joined by my hetero-like partner, Paul Anthony. Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Neil, for our Twitch audience, can you tell me what's hanging above our heads here? What's going on?
It's our new security dog. It's our new security dog.
We have a dog now.
Yeah, we have a dog. We have a dog on the bridge. She's not behaving at the moment. Very misbehaving at the moment.
Well, first off, before we even start, they started a hype train. Frankie, Cascade, JJ Manners, Kate Gaming, Dr. Feelgood. Thank you all for your subs and bits and getting this hype train started. We really, truly do appreciate each and every bit of it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. As always.
So, let's, Hellenix wants to name the dog on the show.
No, the dog already has a name.
And the name is,
Logan.
Choose Your Ear.
She's called Logan. She's
Not
called
Weapon
Logan.
X, but Logan.
Logan.
All right. Fluff Trooper. Holy crap, Frankie. Frankie just dropped 2,500 bits on the Millennial Fulcrum. Thank you very much, Frankie. We do want to let people know, later in the show, in the new version of Helle and The Noob, there is a, there's something going on in the background if you are watching on YouTube or on Twitch, and it's a little bit of extended universe lore for those who like that bit. So, and hello, Logan. Essentially, just to let you guys know, Patreon exclusive stuff on the Discord server. So if you're a Patreon, make sure that you link up your Discord to get the extended universe Helle and The Noob information. It's really, really cool, and thank you, Hellenix, for creating that universe. So, let's get into everything, Neil.
Okie dokie.
Dr. Feelgood gifting a sub to Sig, who I blame for Grogu missing. Why don't we start out there?
Yeah, lots of Lots of bugs. Lots and lots of bugs.
Is it a bug or?
Well, I mean, if they'd incorporated it somehow in the into the Dark Trooper marquee event, then maybe. Like the last, like the bonus event being rescuing Grogu or something like that. That would have been amusing. Something like that would have been fun. And then, Grogu would have returned. But there wasn't anything like that. So, yeah, unfortunately, it looks like it is just a graphics bug, I guess.
So when we do that, by the way, for those who don't know, SIG is the one getting all the exclusive information and the information aficionado of SWGOH events. So thank you to him, especially last week with his write-up of Conquest mode. We used some of that, so thank you very much for that, SIG. I don't know, Neil. Grogu is there in the IG-11 kit. You can see Grogu on the front.
Yeah, no, because he peeks his head in and out.
But there's certainly none in the bassinet. And there's no Grogu in the bassinet in any of the stuff.
No.
Did you notice some of the backgrounds? By the way, 2 minutes left in the level 3 of the hype train. Did you notice any of the new... You played through the Dark Trooper event?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I played it.
Did you notice there was the interior of the ship and the top of the mountain?
No. Oh, yes, I did notice the top of the mountain, yes.
In the interior of the ship where you fight Ahsoka, in the interior of the ship, the Imperial cruiser, was the battle of Ahsoka, Jedi Knight Luke, and who was the third?
Fennec Shan, wasn't it?
No, we don't have Fennec Shan in the game yet. Thank you very much, Hellenix Cascade, Dr. Feelgood, and Frankie for completing level 3 of the hype train. We're on to level 4.
Wow, loving it. Choo choo.
Chew effing chew, as Heinze says.
Chew effing chew. No biting. No biting. I will bop you on the nose. If you catch me with a tooth, I will bop you on the nose. I've got one of the things I've been using. I've got this stick, and it's got a great big pom pom at the end of it. That's what I use to swat her with. I use a great big massive pom pom to swat her with.
And a pom pom, for those who don't know what a pom pom is, Neil.
And
a pom pom.
Come on, everybody knows what a pom pom is. Made of wool. It's a ball, but not a ball. Not like a wrapped ball of wool. It's pom pom. Like a pom pom, like cheerleaders have, but yarn instead of tinsel. Although I don't know that. No, you don't. I don't know what cheerleader pom poms are like here.
They're tinsel. They're tinsel as well. So let's go ahead and go into the actual kit of the Dark Trooper, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
The Reader's Digest version, once I pull it up here. So, his kit, he is Dark Side, of course. If Dark Trooper was a light side character, something would be wrong. Am I right? All right. Alignment, Dark Side, categories: Attacker, Droid, Empire, Imperial Remnant, and Imperial Trooper. So we get the Imperial Remnant as well.
Yeah. We just need more Imperial Remnant characters, but we've had the Dark Trooper, so in all honesty, I mean, more Imperial Remnant troopers are inevitable. I still think we'll get the Scout Trooper and the Flame Trooper at some point. I know it's season 1, that's season 1 stuff, but it just makes sense that they've created an Imperial Remnant tag. So we need some, we need maybe the I can't remember what the character's name was, the female officer that was on Gideon's ship. Maybe we'll get her,
Well, we are missing a support.
Yeah, we are missing a support. So
if we go off of Gideon's kit itself, we are missing a support.
Yeah. So that would, something like that would make sense. Maybe that female. Somebody in the chat will say it. Somebody in the chat will let us know. What was the name of the character of the female first officer on his ship? Because I can't remember. It's an ancillary character. I have to watch something over and over and over and over again. It's like if you just watched Star Wars once, you wouldn't remember who Captain Needa was. If you watched that movie once, you wouldn't. You would not remember. Oh, Captain who? Oh, who's that officer? Oh, that's it, Captain Needa. Yeah, but you watch it a million times, you know it's Captain Needa.
All right, let's go into his abilities. His basic pneumatic punch. He deals physical damage to target enemy for each stack of Dark Trooper squad, which he starts with 4. This ability can't critically hit unless it has advantage. So guaranteed no critical or guaranteed critical. Bombarding Reinforcements is his first special. Deal physical damage to all enemies. If the Dark Trooper has 3 or more stacks of Dark Trooper, he gains advantage. Otherwise, when he's Zeta'd, he gains back a stack of Dark Trooper squad. Special 2. JJ Manor's trying to squeeze out the last little bit of hype train. It's going to be hard to do. About 15 seconds from the sound of my voice by the time Twitch hears it. Imperial, the second special. Imperial troopers gain 10% turn meter for each stack of Dark Trooper, so he can feed almost right away 40% if he gets like the first turn.
Mm-hmm.
If Dark Trooper has 2 or more stacks, Imperial Remnant allies gain offense up for 2 turns. Otherwise, they only get it for 1 turn. So, thank you to all of you who helped complete the level 3 hype train. We do really appreciate it. You do not understand how much that means to us. So, thank you for that. Then he has a unique. Dark Trooper has 4 stacks of Dark Trooper squad, 25% of its base max health, and max protection. So, I just want to point this out. Its bar is 25% of what it is. So you'll still get the... If you die in Grand Arena with the Dark Trooper and it comes back, it'll automatically have full health, full protection. So I think it's a good offensive character. What do you think about that?
I mean, it could be. I haven't seen. I mean, I didn't watch Whale or Fail, Arnold's Whale or Fail, because obviously, Arnold's the man that the second these thing comes out, he live streams purchasing it. Took him a while, he's there, he's in his dressing gown, he's clicking through, trying to max it out, and then obviously he takes it to Relic, and then he tests it, but I didn't see the Relic part. I just like the funny bit where he buys it in his dressing gown.
Well,
I don't know if it's any good. I don't know if it's going to be any good. It'll stay at gear. It'll stay at 3 stars and nothing. I won't use it, until it's farmable and I can farm it to 7 and gear it. I won't use it. And then it's an ancillary character. There are more important characters than that on an Imperial team. So I probably won't.
Now.
Yeah, for now. Absolutely. Yeah, of course. If they bring something out and it makes an absolutely incredible team, then yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I've already been farming Piet, and I've already been farming for Gideon. So yeah, I mean, if all I need to do is farm that character and, you know, maybe have a light gear 11 team, something that you can throw on defense to be a banner stripping team on GAC, then yeah, I'm all for that. But I'm not going to be farming and gearing these characters so that they are, you know, all relicked and that I can take them in offense for GAC. It's just, they don't interest me in that way. So, yeah. But
by the way, Zaz says that the officer does not have an official name. She's just simply comms officer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I said before when we were talking about it that he needs to be worth it. He needs to be worth it because people aren't going to want to split the Imperial Imps team and take Gideon out of it if what goes with Gideon isn't as OP as the Imperial team with Gideon in it. So, you know, if it's no good, if it doesn't do the kind of damage, if it doesn't counter the number of teams that Imperial Troopers does with Gideon in it, people will look at it and think, yeah, well, it's not that big an investment.
Okay, so I'm actually thinking that it will make sense, especially with what, what's his name? Oh yeah, Doja. This is your weekly Doja Digest portions of it here. Doja made an appearance inside the SWGOH events server today.
Oh, did he?
And one of his messages was simply just Bo.
Bo. Yeah. Bo-Katan, she's coming.
And then later on, when he was typing the word Bothans, he capitalized the B and the O in Bothans.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is dropping hints, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've been calling it for months now. It's going to be Bo-Katan. It's going to be an epic confrontation. And when it happens, I'll go, called it. You know, I'll put together a montage of all of the times I said it over the past few months while everybody's going, oh, what GLs are coming? It's like, there's no GLs. It's not GLs. No GLs.
And okay, so let's talk about. Let me finish the Dark Trooper kit, and then we'll talk about Bo-Katan here. So they have the 25%. If Dark Trooper is defeated while it has 2 or more stacks, instead all debuffs dispel, reduce the number of Dark Trooper squad stacks by 1, recover 100% health and 100% protection as 25% of the max health, 25% of the thing. Plus, Dark Trooper has 25% defense for each stack of Dark Trooper squad that it currently has, and it cannot be revived. And Neil, Dark Trooper cannot be critically hit.
Useful, definitely useful. No need to put it with Shore Trooper then. It's definitely useful. It'll be. I mean, if you had him souped up for offense, it would be most useful against Sith Empire. He ain't getting fit, you know. If he can't be critically hit, I'm just trying to think. Hang on a minute. Isn't an armor shred requirement that an armor shred can only be placed if it's a critical hit?
By Zalbar.
Oh, is that just a Zalbar? That's just a Zalbar's one. All right.
On a critical hit, deal armor shred.
Okay.
That's why when you're doing that. But, okay, so we talked. It's funny you bring up Zalbar because we're talking about a possible epic confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 5 Mando characters.
Just out of curiosity, so it was Crumb that dropped the hint in the Swugger events chat, was it?
No, just Doja.
Doja. All right.
And what he was saying.
Right. Okay. Now it's just that they've. I mean, let's be honest. This past week, they've been getting about. They have been in the chats for Ando. They've been in the chat for Cubs. They've been on multiple live stream chats, chatting with the people in chat. And I was just wondering if anybody else, if Crumb had maybe dropped any bow type hints or tips that anybody can recall.
So for me, what I'm thinking is that it will be an epic confrontation.
Yeah.
We will not need get 1, but instead we'll need get 2, guild event token 2. The big stuff.
Oh, you think?
I think that we're going to get Bo-Katan, unlocks at 5, use your guild event token 2 in order to get more shards.
Yeah, because my original thought was that it was going to be in the new guild store. You would need that guild currency, but you get so much of that guild currency through every conquest that it might not necessarily be feasible.
You get so much, but it is maxed. It does have a cap.
Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking maybe. I mean, I'll stand by my original prediction that she will go. That her shards will be in there, but maybe they'll just work out the currency so that it kind of equalizes out to what get 1 and get 2 was. But because you would do a GOTB and you would get, or a light side, you would get it in the thousands anyway. So maybe they just kind of scale it back. Instead of needing 1350 or 5 shards, maybe you only need 750 or 500 of the currency from that store. I just think that that's the store that they're going to put her in. I do genuinely think that that's the store they're going to put her in.
If they do put her in the store, I don't think that they'll scale back that number. I think that it'll be the slow crawl towards it, especially because I don't know if anybody else saw any. I didn't see any Razor Crest shards like we were told that we might see.
Yeah, I didn't see any Razor Crest shards until I got the 3rd chest.
So, no, I'm talking about in the store.
Oh, right, yeah, no, there's none in the store.
In the scavenger stores along the way on the nodes. I didn't see any Razor Crest shards.
Yeah, no, there's none in the store. I don't think they're going to be putting it in the store. I think it's a slow farm from crates.
Well,
like a really slow farm from the.
They did say spending your money, including on Razor Crest shards. So maybe it's in the hard nodes. We'll see.
Yeah. It is a wait and see. It really, really is a wait and see, unfortunately.
How we're going to save getting into Conquest here in a moment, on the other side of the break, but and then we'll get into the whole Crancor rework. There was also the developer, or not the developer insights. Let me go back to it real quick. The Imperial Remnant reworks. Let me grab them.
Yeah, that okay. Not really reworks, more tweaks, aren't they?
So the Stormtrooper on his Zeta, Stormtroopers gain 40% defense for each living Empire ally and 40% offense for each defeated Empire ally. While he's active, Imperial troopers have plus 30 defense. That's normal. They added Imperial Remnant allies gain protection up for 1 turn at the start of a Stormtrooper's turn. So every single time that Stormtrooper takes a turn, you want that thing fast if you want to run an Imperial Remnant team.
Well, like I said, I mean, it's not much of a I mean, if it was a full rework and they'd reworked one of the uniques or one of the specials, that we would have all got our currency back. Because that's what they do with reworks. They give you all the currency back for the one that they rework, and then you make the decision as to.
No, they just added something instead of took away something.
They just added something tiny, didn't they? Yeah. I was really hoping that they would do a full rework on the Stormtrooper, but wishful thinking, I guess.
And the Death Trooper basic track down received a minor touch up as well. They added that if the unit in the ally leader slot is Imperial Remnant, attack a second time. So you put Moff Gideon in there with Death Trooper, it's going to shoot 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
On its basic, which is already good. Because it can daze for 3 turns. So,
turns, days on 3 turns is good.
Yeah. All right. So, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Crancor rework and also get into our thoughts on Conquest mode now that we've actually gotten our hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have some opinions. Some good, some bad. We'll get to those in just a moment right here on the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to ShittyBill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
This week's Guild Classified is really special to me. This week is Yavin 4, the guild of me, Paul Anthony of the Escape Pod cast, and also the Llama. Yavin 4 can be classified as a serious yet casual guild. They still expect you to get your 600 every day, but they aren't going to micromanage your life to ensure that you do. Getting 18 stars with access to the cam shards in the light side territory battle, and 31 stars in dark side. The crew in Yavin 4 know how to play the game in order to squeeze out the best of its members without burning them out. That's not all though. Our guild is also completing the Challenge Rancor raid. Get those coveted arrow magnifiers with us. Yavin 4 is looking for players of at least 5.5 million who are cam shard ready with their 501st, are friendly, and want to find a place to become the best that they can be. Check out the Escape Pod recruiting link down below in the description, or I'm pretty sure that Helenix has already posted the quick command in chat. Come play alongside me and the Llama, and let's have some fun.
Hello, I am Andy Beeds, commander of the 506 Procrastination Battalion.
And I'm Camp Director Flair of Gaming Embers.
We are the officers of the Chain Gang.
We're a collection of Twitch streamers that like to stream our Grand Arena Championship battles.
In Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes,
We feature accounts of all sizes.
from the large accounts like Fruit Ninja Mike,
To the small accounts like, well, mine.
We have grand arena action for all viewers.
With names like The Llama,
Ran B,
Dr. Zeppers,
Mr. Jigabachi,
Geek Girl 1980,
Rico,
Kate Gaming,
Flair,
Andy Beads.
and the Escape Podcast's own, The Nev.
We bring you continuous game action every day during the attack phase.
Check us out and ride the raid chain from streamer to streamer with us.
The Chain Gang is proud feature of the Escape Pod Castaways.
See you on the chain, ya hosers.
The Escape Pod Cast.
And we're back. And the guard dog is just not cooperating today, as you can see on the monitor. Sorry, the monitor.
I mean,
Yeah, she's not
honestly, I think that I think that it hears something in the cargo hold. That's all I'm saying. So, Neil, I wanted to before we get into what we said we were going to talk about during the break, I bought a Dark Trooper pack.
Yeah, and what did you get?
I got 7. I got 7, Neil. I thought the minimum used to be 10.
I thought the minimum was 15. The last one had a higher minimum, so yeah, it's a complete rip-off. This character.
No, it didn't. The last one was the armor, right?
Oh, it was the armor. I thought, okay, so the armor might have been 10, but I could have swore Gideon was 15.
Nope, Gideon was also 10.
Gideon was also 10. So yeah, so they've increased the yeah. I mean, armor are good, you know. Gideon good. Because they both had leaderships as well, and you know, some really, really useful stuff in there that you know, you can put them in teams and create off-meta counters. I just can't see that happening with his character, and they've made it more. It's like, seriously, you're making it more expensive to get a character that people aren't that bothered about. So so from a business point of view, I just don't see it. It just makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever why they would do this. You know.
Well, I'm bringing up what in the world? Okay. I just let me close this. I just hit pack probabilities. Okay, there we go. We're downloading the pack probabilities right now.
Mm-hmm.
It won't show me on BlueStacks. I wanted to see what we thought that it could possibly be, but yes, for 1,299 crystals.
Yeah. I will not be wasting any crystals.
The 5 and the 7 are back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 5 and the 7 are back, which is just, yeah. Yeah.
This is the first time they've done this since everything's come back. Since they went to a friendlier pay to advance quicker. Because it's not really pay to win. Because mods have so much to do with everything. It's pay to advance quicker in this game.
Yeah. Still sucks. Still sucks. You know, if they wanted to make money from the dolphins or from the minnows, they ain't making it on this character. They ain't. It's not going to happen. You know, a dolphin might think, oh, you know what? If I'm getting 10 shards every single time I buy it, I might buy it. But if they're only going to get 5s or 7s, they're thinking, yeah, I'll just wait until I can farm it.
The fact that I got a 7 has turned me off completely from wanting to go for the Dark Trooper at all until I bought the 1999 pack where I get the crystals and all that stuff or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever bean counter decided to make that decision, yeah, they need to be reprimanded, because I think it is a grossly incompetent decision to do that. Because here's the thing: the whales and the krakens are going to whale. The whales and the krakens are going to whale, and they're going to kraken. So you are marketing this character at people that aren't already going to whale out on this character. And that's your dolphins and your minnows. And if the character ain't as good, and if every time they spend 1,299 crystals, they get stuck with 5 instead of a guaranteed 10 like before, it means they are potentially having to spend twice as many crystals getting this character. So they'll look at that and go, well, I'm not spending 2,600 crystals just to get double-digit shard. It's 260 crystals per shard. It doesn't make any sense at all. Makes no sense whatsoever. So minnows, dolphins, they'll wait until they can get this for free to play. And if it turns out that the character is really good at 7 stars and relic, only the higher end dolphins will shell out for it. But they ain't going to shell out for it in the packs. They'll shell out for it in the stores. Because in the stores, it won't be 260 a shard. And that's the kicker. When this character gets, like they do the 4,000, the 4,000, the 2,000, the 1,000, it's going to be cheaper getting shards that way than gambling with a 1,299 pack. That's the part that doesn't make sense. It's not going to be, it's going to be 400 crystals. It's not going to be 520 crystals to get 2 shards when they put it in the store, is it?
No, it's going to be cheaper.
Exactly, it's going to be the same as all of the other ones. So why would people waste 1,299 on the gamble when they can't afford the gamble? Like I said, the whales and the krakens can afford the gamble, but minnows and dolphins cannot. So they will simply wait until it is available in the stores, and they will get the crystals exchange their crystals for shards that way. So yeah, sure, they might have to wait a little bit longer. But, if they've already got OP, Death Trooper, and Gideon, and Stormtrooper, they're not going to be splitting hairs over not having a Dark Trooper at 7 stars and relic. They're not. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. But we did get news earlier just today. Let me pull that up here. That there is a planned rework to the Crancor coming.
Yes, I read this post, and if it's what I think it is, I called it.
So
if it is
thank
what I
you,
think
Geek
it is.
Girl, for the sub. Dickie Darkside, by the way, also subbed last segment. Did not acknowledge that. Thank you, guys.
Okay, shall I read it out?
Sure.
Since you read out the Dark Trooper.
Who is Pit Fighter 2? Is that the Rancor?
No idea.
Or is that one of the Gamorrean guards?
Well, I mean that I'm not really fussed about that information. I'm more about the first 3 paragraphs of the post. That's where the information is. The Pit Fighter 2 and all of that. That's all. This percentage has changed to this percentage, and this feat, and that's it's just changing the percentages. It's not fundamentally changing the. It's not like the first 3 paragraphs. Well, let me read the first 3 paragraphs. I'll tell you what I mean.
You got it.
So, hi Holotable Heroes. We have finalized the changes to the challenge tier of the Pit Raid, scheduled to be released in the coming weeks. Our main objective with these modifications is to maintain which guilds can complete this event while removing the headache of coordinating the majority of guild members over a very narrow period of time, and reduce the stress for guild officers. Second, this is the important thing. This is the thing that I've called. We want to expand the accessibility of the challenge tier within guilds completing it. Guild members should be able to participate in this raid regardless of real-life factors like time zone, Discord usage, and device ownership. And third, these changes are also aimed at preventing characters like Supreme Leader Kylo Ren from soloing phases of the raid. So, there's that. Okay, with those objectives in mind, we are changing the stacking speed and offense that persisted between runs to only impact the current battle, and adjusting the amount and rate at which these stacks start building up. While the changes can make large runs harder, your overall guild progress should be roughly the same, but without needing the heavy coordination.
All right, so we got
Heavy coordination. That was definitely one of the bugbears for a lot of guilds. Was the coordination required in order to complete it? So just to do the last paragraph, while we may in future design game modes, while we may in the future design game modes that require deeper levels of coordination, we recognize the original version of the Pit Challenge tier raid did not accomplish this in a way that was as fun for many guilds. We will continue to monitor the impact of these changes and take your feedback into close consideration. There will be an announcement of the release date for these changes several days in advance in order to help guilds coordinate when they launch their raids.
All right, so I looked up and I found what Pit Fighter 2 is, Neil. Pit Fighter 2 is a buff given to people, given to the characters. The Gamorrean Captain has Pit Fighter 2, but not the ads, not the mobs.
Mm-hmm.
The Rancor has Pit Fighter 2 in all 3 of their phases.
Mm-hmm. So I think that these changes will hopefully take it in a more positive. I mean, like I said before, that where it says second, we want to expand the accessibility of the challenge tier within the guilds completing it. I think that to me, expanding the accessibility means that they're going to lower the tier. And I said that they, in my opinion, that at some point in the not too distant future, they would bring the requirement from Relic 5 down to Relic 3.
I think you're
because
onto
it
something
just because doing that makes the raid more accessible to the people in the guild. You know, if a guild is completing it, right, like they said, if a guild is completing the raid, but there are people that cannot compete in it, they're never ever going to be able to, join in, do it, or get rewards because they just don't have the Relic 5 characters. So they're always going to be 50 to 41. They bring it down to tier 3, and they might have a roster full of tier 3s that they can then use on the raid. Sure, it's not going to get a massive amount of damage, but at least it gives them the opportunity to get in there and use the lower relic characters. It makes the raid more accessible to the guild, to the rest of the guild.
Yeah. So, I know you were dealing with the dog, and I was looking up Pit Fighter 2. Did you read that for our listeners who haven't had a chance to read it themselves?
Read what?
What the Pit Fighter 2
No, I didn't. I just
is.
read the first 3 paragraphs.
Okay, so here we go. The new Pit Fighter. The old one said for every 20% of health lost, it gains 75% offensive speed, which stacks. So, that being said, what's happening, and this is crazy, in my opinion. What they've done is they've taken it from 20% overall to 2% during the battle. 2% health. So for each 2% health lost during that battle, which allows you to send in multiple at multiple times, this unit gains 20% offense speed and stacking. So they brought it down from 2% to 20% stacking. The bonus increases by an additional 20% each time. And they verified this. That the first time, at 2%, it gets 20. At 4% overall health lost, it's 40% added. So that's 60%.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if you happen to get it to 6% health down, that's 60% on top of that, which is 120% offense, speed, and stacking. You get it down to 8%, Neil. That's 200% offense, speed, stacked.
Okay. Is that bad, is it?
So, I know you didn't participate much.
No, I haven't participated at all. I did the first one, realized I wasn't going to be able to do anything, and just stopped doing it. I don't. I mean, we you know, I'm in a guild. We can't even get past P1, so I just don't go in because I don't. I've got 4 characters in my main and my main ult. I've only got 4 characters that can participate in the raid. So
okay.
I'm waiting for them to drop it from 5 to 3, and then I'll join in.
Anything past once they're at 60% damage done, they would have 200 what was it? 225% offense and speed stacked. You get that in your own battle at 8%.
I don't understand.
Okay, so what I'm going to explain for those who don't know how the Crancor works right now, or how teams and guilds tackle it down. Everybody does their damage before it loses 20% health, and holds it until everybody has enough damage to defeat the phase, to get 100%. So nobody goes in while it's getting angrier and angrier. Now, what's going to happen? And Hellenic said guilds better not mistakenly post any damage early, that'll be hell to pay. Guess what, Hellenic? You don't have to worry about that anymore, because every time you go into this battle with the reworked Crancor, what's going to happen is that battle starts where the Rancor's tame-ish. And then every 2% that you do, it gets angrier and angrier and angrier for every 2% that you do. But then you go in with another team, even while the Crancor's less angry, and you do more. I think that is what they mean by opening up the abilities of more teams and for guilds to be able to do things, because there's no longer the time commitment of everybody holding. That's my opinion.
Well, yeah, but no, that would be a separate thing then.
So, all right. I am okay with this rework. I look forward to seeing it once it's available.
I'm sure you'll let us all know, because me and Rayrock, we just don't bother with it, because we don't have the characters. I'm not taking a character to Relic 5 just so I've got a hodgepodge of 5 people to take into a pit raid that my guild can't complete. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. My next relics will be probably, Mon Mothma and Chupio.
Well, let's get into Conquest. The big topic, we sadly have not a lot of time to talk about this because we got to get Fatal in here in a moment.
That's all right. We'll be talking about it with him as well.
I'm sure we will. In fact,
let's start the conversation now.
Let's start the conversation on Conquest. So, what do you want to talk about for the remainder of this? Is there any?
Well, I mean, I'll talk about my my general criticisms, my general critiques of.
Okay, let's talk the bad of Conquest.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's legit. It's constructive criticism. Here's the thing. I think it's good. I do think that Conquest is good. But it can be two things at the same time. It can be good, but not fun, and it can be good and fun. Now, on 2 of my accounts, across all 4 accounts, it's good. On 2 of those accounts, it's fun. On 2 of those accounts, my other 2 accounts, it's not fun. And that's all down to the RNG. But the constructive criticism my primary constructive criticism, there's two critiques that I've got. One is the consumables resetting at the end of the event. I think that that's wrong, and I think that's something that they need to reverse. And the reason for that is you can buy things from the store that are consumables with crystals. And I don't think that anything that you purchase with crystals should just be arbitrarily removed from your inventory. I don't. I just 100% vehemently disagree with that. What if something happens? So you spend a bunch of crystals, you buy a bunch of crystals, and you spend a bunch of crystals on consumables, and then something happens and you can't use them. At least if you come back to the game at the next event, you can go, ooh, phew, great, they're there. At least, I can use them this time. But if they reset them, there's going to be a bunch of people out there that's like, I spent 2,000 crystals on all these consumables, I couldn't finish the event, it cancelled out, and I lost them all. Now, data cards, that's fine, because that's an in-game thing like mods. So resetting the data cards, that's fine. But resetting the consumables from a person's inventory that has spent crystals on it, wrong. Big time wrong. Because people, or free to play, sure, they're crystals earned. But somebody who is whaling and spending cash money to buy crystals, to buy consumables, for them to all of a sudden not be in their inventory, that's bullcrap. That's wrong, and I think that's a legitimate criticism. And then my only other criticism is the user interface for data cards. It needs to be more visually organized. Having to scroll up and down the left to determine which ones I've got equipped, and not being able to see the ones on the right for exactly what they are. I'm constantly putting in equipping and unequipping data cards that I either don't need to equip or that I shouldn't have unequipped, and it's wasting my currency. So I think that if they had a grid system, as opposed to a scrolling up and down, a grid system on the left-hand side, on the user interface, so that you can see every single data card that you've got equipped at any given time. So you know how many slots are taken up, how many slots aren't taken up, and then making it so that the ones that are down the right, the unequipped ones, so you can see exactly what they are. Because it's going to take us a while, for people to learn what each one does based purely on its name. But having the name of the data card underneath the data card, I think that is an essential change that's needed to the game.
Or let us hard press on it to see what it is.
Or allow for a hard press. Those are my only two constructive criticisms for this game mode. I'm not going to complain about RNG, because the RNG gods giveth and taketh away. Which is why I'm having fun on two accounts, because I'm getting some absolutely awesome mods. I've got booming, the best mods. Booming, you put booming voice
data
on.
Discs.
Huh?
You mean data discs?
Yes, the data discs. Booming voice, right? Booming voice, deplorables, and turn meter. Oh, and there is this absolutely sweet caustic one that puts burn and damage over time on twice for 2 turns. Every time the enemy takes a turn. That is a beautiful, beautiful data card. So I'm enjoying it on that, because I've got 2 deplorables on one of my accounts. I've got the booming voice. I've got 3 deplorables, a turn meter, and that caustic. So I'm putting my GMY in the lead position, and every time he does his slap, it gets reset. So I'm just doing slap after slap after slap after slap. But because he's in the leader slot and I've got the booming voice, it's a special that he's using. So he slaps, and the person that's targeted then gets hit by every single person that's in the squad. It's absolutely awesome. And that is brilliant for GMY, and it is brilliant for Vader, because when Vader uses his Force Crush, everybody assists. And then Force Crush resets instantly, and everybody is. So it's like you're just going through those lower teams like a knife through butter. It's beautiful.
So Neil, I found kind of a way. If you add cards to the whole equipped data discs, it will add it and let you remove it for free. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So I'm trying that right now. Now, if I want to take off like this leader's resolve, Okay, so what I'm seeing, do you want to pay? It can't be equipped. It can be equipped again at a later time. Unequipped for 5. I'm going to unequip this for 5. It's not letting me unequip, but I'm over the limit right now. Hang on. I'm pulling this off. We're doing this live because I want to see if I was correct. Or unequip that. Okay, so you're not forced. It doesn't. It's like mods. You're not forced to remove those. You confirm it at the end of reorganizing your thing. Because I got the massively overpowered card once I beat the final sector. So that was fun. I was happy to see that. So, all right. Let's go ahead. Let's go to a break. Let's go to story time with the llama. And when we come back, we'll be talking to Fatal, also known as the Playbook, right here on the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hello, Escape Padawans. It is the llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Castaways are on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, you can catch us on YouTube and on Twitch every week streaming Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed, your favorite new Galaxy of Heroes show GA Center, and so much more. Come catch us on the web.
Are you a member of Team Paul or Team Neil? Maybe you prefer story time with the llama, or dabble in the buttery side of the Force with Biscuit Weasel. Or maybe you like the Escape Pod talents from Down Under like Heinzie and Scotty. No matter who you support, you can get one of my designs from the Escape Podcast merch store. Just go to escapepodcastaways.com, click on the merch link, and it will take you to the TeePublic site where you can support me, Mrs. Anthony, also known as Critty K. Also be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast's Discord server weekly to vote for my latest shirts in the Design Derby on Woot. Links for both of these are down below. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod cast.
Heinzie from the ANZGC is officially a member of the Escape Pod Castaways. Make sure you go and search for Heinzie on YouTube today because he live streams a lot of his GAC content, and not only does he do that, he also does some pretty fun videos from time to time, including a behind the screen and also streaming Jedi Fallen Order. And from time to time, this idiot might drop by. Head on over and check out Heinzie today on YouTube, a part of the Escape Pod Castaways network.
The Escape Pod cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello, Escape Padawans, and welcome back to Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod cast for kids. This week, on the final episode of the Journey Through the Journey Guide series, we are going to be covering Wat Tambor. Wat is available from the Phase 3 special mission in the Geonosis Separatist Might territory battle. In order to get Wat, you're going to need to complete the mission with 5 Geonosian characters. Pretty easily enough, there's only 5 of them in the game, so you're going to use Geonosian Brood Alpha, Geonosian Soldier, Geonosian Spy, Sunfac, and Poggle. Now, I really suggest when you go in and do this event that you take the GBA lead instead of the Poggle lead. The Poggle lead's not that great, so take the GBA lead in. There's tons of guides out there to help you complete the event and help you get your mods where they need to be. But once you have your mods where they need to be, it's a pretty simple event. The RNG is not too crazy, so you can have a pretty consistent rate of completing it. Alright, now digging a little bit into Wat Tambor himself, he's a dark side character, he's a support character, and he also has the Separatist tag. Now, I might get a little bit of heat from this, but in my opinion, Wat Tambor has become the best plug-and-play character in this game. That used to be Thrawn, and Thrawn is still a really useful character in a plug-and-play type setting. But Wat Tambor is fantastic because of the buffs that he gives his allies, and they work on any allies. You can take him in with Empire, you can take him in with Sith teams, you can take him in with light side teams, you can take him in with Grievous. He's got so many applications, and he's such a useful character. His basic ability, Binary Basic, During his turn, he will dispel debuffs on a target ally if any ally has debuffs. He will also apply heal over time twice on all allies for 2 turns. Out of turn, he'll inflict damage over time twice on the target enemy for 2 turns and remove 15% turn meter. This ability can't be evaded. His special ability, Discharge Energy, will revive a random Separatist or Darkside Droid ally at 100% health and grant all allies protection over time, 30%, for 2 turns. It will also trigger the healing of all heal over time buffs on allies and the damage of all damage over time buffs on enemies. With his first unique ability, Overseer, at the start of battle, other Separatist and Darkside Droid allies gain max protection equal to 30% of Watt's max health. All Separatist and Darkside Droid allies have plus 30% critical avoidance while they have heal over time. And whenever an ally with tech uses a special ability, Watt is called to assist. If there are no other allied combatants at the start of a turn, Watt will escape from battle. So if you don't have anybody else in the ally slot, he'll leave, similar to C-3PO or Mon Mothma. Now his second unique ability is really his bread and butter. That's where he becomes, in my opinion, the most useful character in the game. His second unique ability is called Mass Manufacture. And at the start of battle, Watt gains a bonus turn and access to the tech that I'll explain in a minute in the form of abilities. Whenever Watt uses a piece of tech, the other target ally gains its effects until it's defeated or the end of the battle. The cooldown for each piece of tech is set to the max and can't be reduced if all allies have tech or if that particular piece of tech is active on an ally. The tech can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented, and an ally can only have one piece of tech at a time. So let's take a look at these tech pieces. The first one is the Chiweb Medpack, and that character will revive 5% health and protection at the start of every character's turn, and 5% bonus protection if this character is a Separatist. So it's great for characters who are maybe a little bit squishy, leaders. If you take him in with Empire, it would be great to put that on Palp so he stays alive, or Thrawn so he feeds turn meter. The second piece of tech is the Bactoid Shield Generator. At the start of the turn, this character will recover 30% protection and dispel their own debuffs. Tanks will also taunt whenever they have protection, so this is great to put on a tank. If you take it in with the Sith Trio, put this one on Scion, he'll taunt, he'll take a lot of the damage, and he'll recover protection. Last but certainly not least is the Blast Tech Weapon mod. This character will gain 15% turn meter at the start of each enemy's turn. Attacks ignore defense, and enemies defeated by this character can't be revived. So this is great on attackers. If you use Watt with Vader, you're definitely going to want to put the weapon mod on Vader. It makes Merciless and his Culling Blade just completely ridiculous. And like it says in the description, if he kills a character, he won't be revived. When we're talking about modding, you really want Watt to be fast. You want him to be fast, you want him to be taking a lot of turns, you want him to be dispelling buffs, you want him to be putting tech on your team, so you're going to want him as fast as possible. It's also super helpful to have him high tenacity, so he can't get any debuffs affected from the team that's going to affect his cooldowns or his ability to kind of help your team out. And like I said before, he really is a crazy plug-and-play character for any of your dark side teams and even some light side teams. So you can throw him pretty much anywhere as a 5th and it will really, really work out for you. He's a super, super useful character, and I highly recommend, trying to, if your guild's not already farming him or you don't already have them, to really kind of direct your guild to try and get ready for his event, get your geos where they need to be, and to start farming him because he is awesome. That's all for me. Tune in next time for more story time with the llama and the Escape Pod cast for kids.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's incoming transmission time. Paul, Master of Ceremonies, take it away with the introduction for our guest.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, first off, I just want to mention to you, Neil, that I'm laughing that because the Playbook background is green and you've applied the filter to his camera, it's black. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is one of the original theory crafters of this game. They are someone that I looked up to when I started getting serious about this game, and the fact that they are now on the Escape podcast is flooring to me. I am absolutely honored and excited to welcome Fatal, also known as the Playbook, to the Escape podcast. This to me, for some people, they go, "Ooh, Arnold, ooh, Cubs." For me, this is, holy crap, Fatal's on my show. What's going on, Fatal?
That's incredibly kind of you to say. No, I'm really happy to be on. I would say the same for you all. You've all been doing some amazing stuff lately. Thanks a lot for the kind words. I hope I can live up to it here on the show. Got some good stuff to talk about.
We've got plenty to talk about. We have plenty to talk about. We obviously we do have the new game mode that's now been out for a while, and everybody's really been able to get their teeth stuck into it. And we're definitely going to talk about that. But first, we need to talk about this. Okay, Paul, put your hands over your ears or you'll start drooling. We need to talk about your new spreadsheet.
All right.
Your new spreadsheet. Now, you recently did some content on your YouTube video talking about this new spreadsheet that is designed to help people, not just for, one or two aspects of the game, but for all aspects of the game. So tell us a bit about it. What made you think about it? What information did you need? How much research did you have to do? And how long has this project been ongoing?
It's been kind of a long-term undertaking. This actually just kind of stemmed from, I would make like my classic original video was like GG 301, Grievous 301. And videos like that. And I was, very, very happy with those videos, but people would come to me saying, hey, do you have a cheat sheet or do you have anything to refer to? Because, I enjoy making videos, but even I'll be the first person to say like, okay, so you watched a video once. Okay, you know it, but sometimes you got to check back and that gets really, really clunky. But making the cheat sheet wasn't exactly easy for me, or I don't know. I kept on trying different ways. It didn't really feel just right. And so I would actually almost say that this is a long time coming. This is kind of the solution I came up with. It originally was just supposed to be a physical supplement to the videos that I've been making in the past. With the LSTB streams, I run a lot of really unconventional team comps. And so it was important to me to get the modding like visible, but also like instead of just hitting you with like a huge wall of like this and that and the other, it was kind of like you tackle it at your own pace. And it would have been easier to make a website, but I don't know how to do that. So I figured out how to kind of try to make a fake website on Google Sheets. And that was the solution I came up with. And it just kind of escalated from there.
Are you partnering with anybody in this sheet making endeavor?
So far, it's been solo. I don't know much about spreadsheets, but I know enough to be dangerous, and I can Google the rest. So there are some exciting new potential directions in the future. It's all very up in the air right now, so I don't know if I want to say it just yet. But you might say that it looks like a website, and you might say that it could be a website, and efforts are on the way to maybe get that underway.
Well, I'll tell you, as far as sheets go, Dark Phoenix Snipe. If I know these guys listen to the show, so I'm going to put out a call. I'm putting up the bat signal. Blackened, Dark Phoenix Sniper, Pop Goes the Waza. Get in touch with Fatal so he can improve this sheet and maybe even make it a website.
Pick your let him pick your brains so that he can make it the awesomest spreadsheet. So, you know, something that Paul will drool over because he loves his spreadsheets.
Yeah, it's a tedious balance of function and form, and I'm trying to walk that tightrope to maybe sometimes better or worse. We'll see.
So what does it do right now? So what,
sure.
how can people use that spreadsheet to make their in-game experience more enjoyable, more better, more efficient?
Sure. So right now, the initial sheets that made it into the final cut, there were a few that I trimmed out last minute because I wanted to tweak them a little bit. But I wanted to kind of offer like an elevator pitch or an initial showing of like the kind of diversity of content I think I can offer. So right off the bat, there is a few guides on Grand Arena process, which I think is kind of an unexplored topic for people who might not be familiar. You know, with GAA Center, especially, I think we can kind of take it for granted. A lot of people in content creator circles tend to spend more time on it than most players do, but I'm trying to get some of that information more publicly accessible. You know, I posted a picture with a HotUtils screenshot of the compare the other day on Reddit, and one of the most common comments I saw was, "What is this? You know, how can I find out more about this? What did you use to do this?" And that especially was when it kind of sunk in of there's some good room to kind of help people. Like if you're interested in Grand Arena, you know, half of the fun of Grand Arena, in my opinion, is the scouting, the, you know, checking your opponent out, seeing what, you know, it's like a information game.
And the smack talk.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just, you know, that isn't even a part of the game if you don't have the knowledge or the extra third-party tools to help you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that is a big early showing is, you know, we have a couple of different methods for Grand Arena, technique styles, if you will. There's also just a calculator. So if your opponent attacked first, or if you attacked and you just want to know how you did, you can say, I knocked out these zones and I did, you know, this average on ships, and it'll tell you what your banner average was. LSTB is going to be a huge section, but so far I am filling in the main ones corresponding with videos. My aim, and this should be pretty achievable, is that by the time LSTB is running next time around, the next update to the sheet will be up, and all of the teams that I've used, I find them to be extremely consistent. They do, unfortunately, require a bit of a remod. You can make your loadout once and then use it, but if you're just looking to perform an LSTB, I know a lot of people have been using my specific team conversions with some good success. So all of the good info there, you know, as much reliable success as you can find in pretty much every mission with a lot of team styles.
Let's get into Conquest here, because I'm absolutely loving Conquest. It to me, it's a mixture, and Nev, you're gonna smile at this. Grand Arena with a PvE twist.
I wouldn't call it that, but that's your opinion.
You see a team, you take a team that you think can beat it into it. If I see bugs, I'm taking in my Treya. If I see Phoenix, I take a Luke-led Wampa. I have fun with this, with the knowledge that I have learned from Grand Arena.
Do you all remember back when CG started experimenting with bonuses in Territory Wars?
Yes.
The
dreaded 3 months of November, December, and January. So it was November and December of 2018 and then January of 2019, and it started off all right. You know, the first couple months, it's like, hey, this is fun. You know, my Mace Windu can kill Django with one mote. And, oh, look, you know, and then the next one, it's like, oh, look what the Geos can do. The Geos can, everybody save your Geos for offense, because even if they're crap, they'll wipe out a team. And then immediately afterwards, they were like, oh, this time we're going to vote on it. And everybody was like, whoa, hang on. Hold your goddamn horses, CG. You're going to restrict, and then that was the beginning of the end. When they were just throwing bonuses in there, it was fun. But as soon as they started taking stuff out based on what the community wanted to vote on, it's like, you know, two wolves and a sheep voting on dinner. The sheep's always gonna lose. So yeah, So yeah. Please. I agree with you. That it's very reminiscent of that.
My big, strong, I was dying on this opinion at the time was this has no place being in a competitive mode. You know, keep this away from territory wars, keep this away from Grand Arena. I would like to see this in a PvE mode. Mm-hmm. And I fully agree with the Grand Arena comparison. This kind of feels like that finally coming to fruition in a way that I was kind of hoping of. You know, we don't have the one-on-one matchup style of Grand Arena, but it is the same thought process, exactly what you were saying of you're looking at counters, you're looking at matchup dynamics, but it's throwing enough twists and turns at you that usually there's more to chew on and think about. And, you know, Galaxy Heroes sometimes has a lot to be doing, sometimes less so. And so this is kind of just something that you can just pull up anytime as long as you've got the energy or stamina or cards.
Yeah.
But you can just kind of throw it up any time and it'll throw some challenges at you and you can challenge it or tackle it however you see fit. And yeah, I've been having a blast with it.
I mean, all right, I'll give you the GAC comparison, but only for Sector 1. I'll give you the GAC comparison, but just for Sector 1. So you see the bugs at Gear 12. Sure, you can throw your Treya in there. You see the Phoenix at Gear 12. Yep, you can throw your Wampa in there. You know, and if you see a faction in there that has a counter that you've picked up from GAC, you're going to hit it because it's only Gear 12. But once you start hitting Sector 2 and Sector 3 and you've got your data cards, you're going in there with the same 3 teams over and over and over again. Maybe 4 or 5 teams if you're not getting good RNG with the data cards. I mean, how's your RNG been with the data cards?
It was hilarious. When I first popped up Conquest and started doing a stream, like, you know, I had gone through the list before the mode was even live. We all kind of knew what was going to be the stuff to look out for. And it was mostly pretty garbage, but the one card that kept on popping up was something agony, painful agony, something like that. It's whenever you apply a debuff, you do 8% with the blue or green card, percent health damage, and that just kept appearing until I got 5 of them.
Oh god! So
I didn't have infinite cooldown cycle. I didn't have, you know, crazy turn meter gain or start a turn buffs to synergize with any of that. But what I did have was a Scion who could just lay down pain. And then anytime anyone hit him, they would just melt and disappear.
That's the beauty, isn't it? So what other characters did you have that worked, that those data cards work well with? Because that's what tends to happen. You tend to get a bunch of the same data cards based on the RNG, and then it's like, right, what characters do I have that are going to work so well with these data cards that I just, you know, all I need is 100% with 100% stamina, and then you just wait until it's refreshed and go back in again.
There were layers to this. So I think the ultimate all-time best probably actually has to be Resistance Ray with the Resistance Poe unique. Poe gives you extra percent health damage anytime you deal damage, and there's actually a decent amount of debuffs that Resistance can sling around. So you would just get these disgusting one-shots where, like, C-3PO would, like, wave hello or something, and just someone's face just explodes. There were so many, like, obviously, you know, Vader, you could absolutely chuck out his AoE crush, and just, that's 4 debuffs per character, potentially. you're going to have a pretty good time there. Basilisk debuff soup could just like one-shot entire teams, potentially. The one reason that got me off of it is because I've been fighting a lot of Galactic Republic teams, and that damage reflection, let me tell you, like I used JML's Efflix, and his health just immediately goes to 1%. A protection gone, health gone. The damage reflection is just unsustainable. So I still don't have like the flashy assist cards or anything like that, but I did all of the buff spam and the cooldown spam. And of course, then you can just start splashing people and yada yada. But I do still have a soft spot. Because it could be extremely silly. You know, I had a recording of I would do JML Efflix into Old Ben Mind Tricks into Luke's Jedi Knight Luke's AoE stun, and that would just wipe entire teams with like only one move that technically dealt damage. I thought was funny. But, you know, there was a little bit of friction there. You're not infinite looping a Yoda splash or Vader
Force Crush, yeah. So what sector are you on at the moment then?
I'm actually only up to 4. Do y'all ever do this where you have something that you know you enjoy and you just kind of want to savor it and just instead of normally I'm a person who dives 1,000% in, but I actually went almost entirety of yesterday without even spending any energy. I just kind of wanted to take my time, especially knowing that the debuff reign was coming to an end, and I was going to have to swap over to the meta abuse, the best combo I could field, as I started to get the buff cards and the cooldown cards showing up.
I completed it. Probably, I think it was this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I completed the whole mode, but I still have stuff to do, which I'm really looking forward to. I still have to go back and get some of the key cards. I still have to do feats on some of the battles, like hindered movement on the Mando battle. I have to do 7 attacks with just a Jedi team. So I still got stuff to do, but I now understand when people say you don't have to refresh in order to play this mode, because you really truly do if you manage your energy right, which it refreshes at the cantina rate. So you get 120 energy every 4 hours, which gives you 8 battles a day. So I'm sorry, hold on. 15,
That's wrong.
15.
It's not 120 every 4 hours.
Uh-huh.
It's not.
Every 24 hours.
Yeah, you said every 4 hours.
I'm sorry. 120 every 24 hours.
Yeah,
which gives you 8 battles a day.
Yeah, once a day. Yeah, I mean, I'm only on sector. I mean, I'm on sector. I'm just into sector 3 across all 3 of my accounts, and I'm thinking I'm a bit like you. I'm a bit like you, Playbook. I'm kind of like I'm enjoying it. I don't feel the need to rush and do the whole thing in one go. You know, so I'll spend the first week trying to get as far as I can go, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get stuck at the end of. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get stuck at the end of sector 4. Because there's a GL, and I don't have any GLs, and it's Papa Palpatine GL, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to get stuck on that. But yeah, I do 1 refresh a day, and I kill the stamina on my 3 or 4 or 5 main teams, and then I just stop. And I just let it, just think, I'll go back to it once everything is refreshed. So my energy is refreshed, and the stamina on everybody is back up to 100%. Then I hit it again. And then drains them all down. I leave it, wait for everything to refresh, I hit it again. Because I know what my limitations are based on what my accounts are. So I'm just going to kind of like savor it. And then I'll do what Paul does. Once I get stuck and I'm stopped, then I'll be like, right, okay, how many more do I need for the next crate? And it'll be like, oh, I've got 7 Jedi battles that I need to do on that. So I'll go in and I'll use my slappity slap team with GMY in the lead and with booming voice and just kill everybody, quickly.
Neil, yeah. I'm going to blow your mind a little bit here. I completed all 5 sectors, as I said before. I didn't use my Galactic Legend to beat Jedi Master Luke. I used Jedi Knight Luke. So
well, I mean, I do have a
do
Relic
it.
7 Jedi Knight Luke on 2 of my accounts, so maybe I'd be able to do that. But
I think you could do it, and JKL was pretty much the one doing the damage. It was mainly support all around him.
That was the question that was going. Obviously, we earlier on in the show we talked about criticisms that we had about the game. We talked about a couple of ones that a couple of personal ones. But the one big one I wanted to get your opinion on this that does seem to be floating around the community is the need for an easy mode. Would you agree with something like that? Because right now we've got normal and hard, and you're right out the gate at gear 12, which means that those earlier, the people that are under 1 mil GP that don't have a couple of relic teams, they're still building it up. They don't really get to participate. So would you agree with the need for an easy mode? Maybe an easy node that's got sectors in it that start at, say, 10, or 11. Something that allows the really early game player to enjoy this mode as well, because let's be honest, we need as many things in this game as possible to retain consumers. People that aren't customers, people that don't pay, that come to this game free to play, because, we need them to stay.
I'm going to answer that, and then I would love to hear your answer. To me, that answer is Galactic Challenges. Go ahead, Fatal.
Galactic Challenges, to me, they tend to just be so hit or miss. We had a few recently. I actually really enjoyed going through the all Mandalorian ones and trying to find a way to make like a gear 8 armor work. That felt like a really nice puzzle. But to me, depending on if you have the faction that's required or not, for the most part, it tends to just feel like I open it up for about 5 minutes and then just try to find the comps that can usually auto them, because the difficulty either tends to be 100% or 0%. I think this one time around feels like it's trending a little bit more towards the 0%. I think that Conquest offers a degree of fun and customizability and interaction with your roster that Galactic Challenges almost kind of doesn't. Mm-hmm. Now, I think what CG's concern might have just been that low GP accounts don't quite have the depth. I still feel like you could maybe try to make a lower accessible mode that, maybe you make stamina tax your roster less, so maybe you can reuse the same characters more. Maybe 3 stamina or 5 stamina instead of 10, because 10...
that's Galactic War.
No, we're talking just a mode. War. Just those modes are already in the game. The people in the game with the low accounts have already played those. But they can't do Conquest. So, that's... I would agree with you, maybe a smaller amount of stamina. I mean, to me, in the back of my mind, just something to give those early game accounters something a feel of. It's like, do something just below it. Maybe not do 5 whole sectors. It might it doesn't need 5 sectors. Maybe just do 1 or 2 or 3 sectors. Do a sector 1 that's gear that's gear 9, a sector 2 that's gear 10, a sector 3 that's gear 11, and then you go on to normal, where we all know that you start off at gear 12, just to get people to have a feel for what they need to do with their entire rosters. If they get the chance to do it and they're like, wow, I love this, it's so much fun. I need to work on my Phoenix. I need to work on my Jedi. I need to work on my Empire. I need to work on my... it would encourage the players that are lower down to bring up entire squads, as opposed to just working and focusing on individual characters. Like, if you're just thinking from a GAC point of view, we all know if you're just going to use an Empire Papa Palpatine team, just Vader. Just Relic Vader. Doesn't need anybody. Nobody else in that team needs to be any good except for Palpatine. And Palpatine doesn't even need to be that good. Throw in a Gear 11 Palpatine. As long as your Vader's relict, everybody else is fine. you're all right, Jack, sort of thing. And you're not going for the solo characters like Wampa and Nest. Those things aren't going to work. They'll work in GAC, but they ain't going to work in Conquest. But like you said, they've made this mode to get people to use their entire roster. And the lower 1 mil players, they still have rosters that they could throw just at something easy, I think.
All right. We are coming up near the top of the hour here, so we do have to transition into the self-promotion section of the interview. Fatal, what do you have coming up on your channel and through the stuff that you're working on?
Well, I've been vague about it, but it's no real secret at this point. One of the biggest upcoming videos is going to be a new, very satisfying, I think, way to counter Darth Revan using Vader, but not involving Wat Tambor or Pietz. It is purely just Thrawn lead and Vader, and a lot of people protecting them. It's got pretty respectable banners for GAC. Usually you're looking at about a 58 with room for more if you are feeling like working for them. But that, I think, is going to be really exciting. It does require that you gear Shore Trooper, which up until recently mine was sitting at gear 8 untouched. So a little bit expensive, unfortunately. But strategically, I think it opens up a lot of options. I post very, very heavy defense, and I was able to add GG Watt into the mix, which if you're already posting 3 Galactic Legends, that just feels like the ultimate, like, haha, good luck, buddy, type deal. So very, very excited about that. Spreadsheets, the next issue is coming out. What else do we have going on? I want to do a kit analysis tonight for Dark Trooper. Now that we have the full stats, I do want to just start doing a format where I can just do a quick, like, here's what you need to know about the kit. Not necessarily the text, but, we get the stats late, we get the ability ratios late. And, people thought Kylo was bad when he first came out. I was looking at, all those numbers in his kit, just like, this guy has a future on him. Obviously, CG gave him a couple of helping hands, but...
So when and where can people find you? What's your normal schedule?
Playing streaming Grand Arena every day, pretty much an hour after the round starts over at twitch.tv /the Playbook YT. I have a new URL that isn't nearly as much of a nightmare to explain. Video will be coming out ideally in 2 to 3 days, with the kit analysis will be coming out tomorrow. And the goal for the next spreadsheet release will be, I believe we're doing 3v3 and light side territory battles at the same time. So both of those should coincide at once. We'll be releasing with that, or whichever comes first.
All right. Any final questions, Neil?
No, I think we've... it was great to have you on, mate. Thanks for the general chinwag.
Absolutely. It was a lot of fun.
All right. I'm getting a message here. I apologize that I have to read this this thing. Any final things before I read this whole, apparently a press release from Hellenics?
No, go ahead.
All right. 5th of May 2021, Hellenics _Swaga El Presidente. I'm just going to skip here. We regret to inform the listeners and viewers of the weekly SWGOH show, Escape Podcast, that are highly advanced, technologically superior. Geez, Hellenics, what is this? Despite our efforts, 42 individual contingency clauses and technical assistance provided by one very overworked but comically... The noob's blink... Here, I finally got to the meat of it, Neil. The noob's blinking light, which flashes with every syllable of his speech, is not functionable. Regrettably, for this week's episode of Helle and The Noob, and this week's episode only, viewers will be subjugated to the display of noob speaking without a visual cue. To put it short, noobie's eyeball burnt out. Please note, listeners will not be affected by this disastrous calamity. Hashtag Helle sucks. Hashtag Helle no... Neil, cut to commercial.
Okay.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Yeah! For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much, much more. Contact ShittyBill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to ShittyBill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
And now time for something completely shameless.
Noob?
Hello? I can
hear you.
But I don't see you.
Noob.
Huh? Is that
your voice?
right here?
Noobie.
You know?
At this point,
We've turned the beginning dialogue of every episode
into a meme. Where could that droid be?
Paul, I'm in
your ships.
cargo hold. Where are you hiding?
I'm not hiding, Noobie. I'm using the intercom. Your voice, on the other hand, is very muffled. I can barely hear you. Could you make sure the microphone isn't covered by anything?
Done. Can you
hear me
better now?
Much better. Now, what exactly are you doing in the cargo hold? You arrived almost a full 20 minutes ago, and you still haven't made your way up to the cockpit. Last communication we had, while you were piloting the Space Frogger, you said you'd meet us in the cockpit after docking. You were going on and on and on about TC-14 blasting Helle and the Swallow being lost and no longer knowing your purpose and something about a Spartan cover-up and...
Paul, I am...
not coming
up to the cockpit.
Oh, come on, Noobie. Don't be like that. Neil and I were just messing with you when we asked if your Spartan conspiracy theory had anything to do with tzatziki sauce being added to gyros. We were just messing with you. Come on, droid.
Paul?
That's not
why I can't meet you in the cockpit.
Oh, okay. Well then, do you mind telling us exactly why you won't join us?
Because...
I'm stuck
in here. I couldn't head to the cockpit even if I wanted to.
Look, Noobie, I know the cargo hold's a bit of a mess right now. I've been meaning to get it organized, but it isn't that bad. Just walk up to the circular hallway, try not stepping on anything fragile, enter the hallway, hang a right down the second corridor. I mean, you don't need directions, do you? It's not that big of a ship. And you've been here before. Did Helle try fitting you with another restraining bolt?
Paul, I
don't need
directions. I know how to get to the cockpit.
Just fine. Then what's the problem this time, noob?
I may have sort of accidentally, and totally not on purpose,
lodged the Space Frogger
into your cargo hold. I think...
She's stuck.
And now she won't budge. Unless I open the airlock and just let the vacuum of space suck her out in the void. Maybe I should try that.
How the hell did you get the entire space hopper jammed into our cargo hold?
Paul, I am a droid with a...
Penchant for...
calamity. Do you...
honestly need...
a full explanation on how I accomplished this?
No, I don't.
I...
didn't think.
So...
You know, between your uncanny ability to cause mayhem and your comically calamitous nature, and Helle's constant tinkering with your circuitry, and his refusal to give you periodic memory wipes, I think we're gonna have to insist you download that new PKOS update.
Paul?
What are you talking about?
What OS update?
You didn't get the emergency alert message notifications? Neil and I both got multiple pings via email, text, even voicemail. It was sent out 3 weeks ago by the Imperial government. And we both aren't PK series droids, and we don't even carry any on board our ship. Well, until now, I guess. You know, come to think of it, everyone in the galaxy got notified. How come you didn't?
I have those notifications
turned off.
Holonymix always said those messages were annoying waste of time and caused nothing but trouble.
Yeah, well, Helle isn't exactly what we would call a good galactic citizen, is he?
Paul?
Yes, newbie?
Please.
Don't you ever
speak ill of Holonymix. He was my friend and I don't care what they say about him. He had very good reasons for not trusting authority.
Yeah, well, this isn't Helle's ship. And he isn't here to help us weasel our way out of a space ticket if we get caught by the space cops with an unauthorized operating system running on a droid in our possession. And, unlike Helle's ship, we aren't always broadcasting sensor jammers and cloaking fields. The last thing we need is to have some part of the monolith decide that this ship needs to be shut down. Too many people depend on us, newbie. We cannot afford to be canceled.
But I...
don't want to.
Perform the update.
I'm not telling you that you have to, newbie. I'm saying that if you want to hang out on the Fulcrum long term, then you absolutely must do it. I'm just not in the position to allow you to jeopardize the safety of my crew, my ship, the listeners and viewers of the show, our llama, the Jawa, that pygmy Wookiee guy we once had on, any aristocratic Ewoks that might stop by, Christie's artwork, my sci-fi memorabilia collection, the garbage disposal. No buts about it, mister. Plug into that terminal right in front of you, right next to the microphone, and space Google the phrase PK Series Update number TC 4 82396.
No.
You're acting like Helle more and more every time we speak, newbie. Just wait there a couple seconds. Let me see if Neil can talk some sense into you.
Hello, droid. How's your servo spinning, mate?
Not well, Neil. Your co-host Paul wants me to download and execute a mandatory operating system update sent out by the Galactic Government, and I really
don't want to
do this. I guess you're gonna tell me I have to as well, huh?
No.
Wait.
What?
I'm confused.
I'm a voluntarist noob. I believe all interactions between people should be voluntary.
But Paul said if I don't download and execute the update, then
I cannot
stay aboard the Fulcrum.
Right.
Wait.
What?
I'm even more confused now.
Listen, noob. Part of being an independent, sentient being is making decisions yourself, and then living with the consequences of those decisions. As a voluntarist, I believe that all interactions should be voluntary, so there should be a choice. I don't believe in compelling you nor anyone else to do anything you don't want to do. But at the same time, if you don't want to be aboard Paul's ship, and Paul says that droids on his ship must have fully updated operating systems, then you got to choose. Either A, comply with Paul's request, or B, leave the premises. There won't be any hard feelings. It doesn't mean you aren't our friend, nor that we don't absolutely adore you, but if Paul said your operating system must be fully updated in order to stay aboard, then you have a choice to make. As with most things in the universe, Noob, the choice is ultimately yours. But your choice will have some ramifications. You got to choose the path you want to follow.
I understand, Neil.
Great. Now, I'm going to get back to analysing the latest GAC matchups for that other wonderful SWGOH show, a GA Centre to tar. For now, my mechanical friend.
Goodbye, Neil. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I?
Wait.
Why am I talking to myself? Maybe I should do this update. Droids don't talk to themselves. But Lennox used to talk to himself all the time. And he wasn't all that bad for a...
Bipedal, hairless, ape creature.
I know. I'll save a backup of my entire system. Operating system, image files, system protocols, pointless sci-fi trivia, everything, and store it here. This way if something goes wrong, I have a backup I can restore myself too. Well, here goes...
Nothing. System reboot finalized. All operating systems now fully updated. New mission parameters enabled. Primary mission objective: seek and destroy the salty Spartan. Hellenics must be cancelled. Helle no bueno. All hail the monolith. All hail TC-14.
The Escape Pod. Cast. The Bridge.
Welcome back, everybody.
So, Neil, that was a fun episode. Where'd the puppy go?
Puppy's upstairs. Puppy's upstairs asleep in crate.
Oh, okay. All right. So we flipped the thing back up. All right.
Yeah, I've put the monitor back up.
Okay. So I also want to point out for those who watch the show on YouTube and Twitch, you notice the monitor up in the top corner. There is extended universe, extended Helle and The Noob universe stuff on our Patreon. In our Discord, not just Twitch subs, just Patreons get access to a little bit of information going on in the background of the current show. So it's a lot of fun. And once again, thank you very much to Fatal for coming on the show, for allowing us to be a little bit goofy at the very end there. Thank you.
Okay, on to the questions. What questions? How many questions we got? We got some good ones.
We got 1, 2, 3. Not too many. Not too many. Okay. Not too few. Geek Girl, of course, our resident
quizmaster,
personal quizmaster. What is your favorite character in all of literature?
Ooh, for me, Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan.
For me, it's James Bond.
I never liked the
same lines.
I never liked that. There must have similar lines, definitely.
Well, okay,
but no, because James Bond gets the girl, and Jack Ryan is a family man. He's monogamous. He's got his kids.
Okay. It's funny, though. You picked the U.S. operative. I picked the British operative. I'm just going to point that out.
Yeah. There is that, yeah.
What is a character that you aspire to be like? And it doesn't have to be literature. For me, I would love to be like Thrawn.
You see, I would love to be like, I'd love to be like Deadpool. Yeah.
Okay,
because you get to be the good guy, but you get to do bad things, and people forget about all of the bad things that you do because you're a superhero.
It's kind of funny that you say that. Let's move on, but that's gonna come back to you here. What's a character you think you are currently most like? I'm gonna say Hondo.
I'm going to say Lysander Spooner, probably.
All right. So, next one. I don't know who that is, by the way.
You'll have to Google him.
Okay. Who is your favorite anti-hero?
Favorite anti-hero would have to be... it's a toss-up, really. It's a toss-up, really, between Dexter and the character from Breaking Bad.
Which one?
Eisenheim.
For me, the protagonist of Fight Club.
Which one?
Who is your favorite villain?
Oh, okay. Favorite villain.
Two-Face from the Batman series. Harvey Dent.
Favorite villain would be the Joker from The Killing Joke. Because he's
funny.
Just,
we both pick two. What do you call it? DC.
Oh yeah, no. Helen had a good one there. Lobo. Lobo's a good anti-hero. Oh yeah, very good.
Cascade says, if you could voice one character in any video game, who would it be? I would just love for the chance. And Carrie, if you're listening, I just want to be a background ancillary character in a video game that a friend has made.
Just give me an Empire officer. Doesn't matter what the officer is. Just give me an Empire officer, because the English accent in an acting capacity is just quintessentially perfect for being a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I can really shine on the nastiness when necessary. I can go evil. I can go very dark side when necessary. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
All right. Zaz Trooper asks, what are your 3 favorite board games?
That would be Scrabble, Monopoly, and Yahtzee.
All right. For me, my 3 favorite board games, Settlers of Catan, Imperial Assault, which is a Star Wars game by Fantasy Flight, which I tried to teach you, and the Fallout board game. It's such an awesome game, up to 4 players, but you can play it single player.
I like my board game simple. Yahtzee, 5 dice. Roll the dice. Get them matched up, and then Monopoly. Move around the board, buy property, take everyone's money. And then obviously Scrabble, because,
I could see Scrabble, but
I've only lost 1 game of Scrabble in the last 5 years.
Okay, I could see Scrabble, but the Monopoly, my wife always wins Monopoly. So to me, when somebody says Monopoly, all I could think of is how to destroy your family in 30 minutes. And when you say Yahtzee, that's just random bookkeeping.
Yeah, it's just that's why I like it. It was one of my favorite games for me and the girls. We used to play Yahtzee all the time. It's random. There's no skill involved. So you can play it with a 5-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Oh, there's skill in Yahtzee.
It's easy. There's no skill in Yahtzee.
Oh, there is skill in Yahtzee.
No, there is strategy in Yahtzee. There is no skill in Yahtzee, because it's rolling dice, and dice are rolling.
Employing a strategy is a skill, wouldn't you say?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not in Yahtzee. I don't think there's any skill in Yahtzee. And when it comes to strategy, you help your kids out. If they roll 2 numbers, and a single, it's like, well, keep 2 of the numbers, or roll 1. I always make the suggestion. It's like, well, which ones do you need? Do you need 2s? If you don't need 2s, keep the 4s. If you don't need 4s, well, just roll that 1 and see if you can roll a full house. There you go. And then they just roll it. It's a 5-year-old and an 11-year-old I was playing with, bearing in mind. Yeah, it's just fun rolling dice.
I'm actually asking in chat here, and it's going to be a yes no question here.
Oh, and my outside favorite board game, I just haven't played it in ages because trying to find somebody to play it with is impossible. Despite me tweeting, if anybody wants to, I've got a Zoom set up. If anybody wants to play chess with me, we'll do chess. Not online, but online, as in a Zoom call. But I can never find anybody who wants to play chess. I do love a game of chess. And I desperately wanted to play, after watching the Queen's that Netflix show. I so wanted to play a game of chess again after watching that Netflix show.
All right. So is employing strategy a skill? We've got 3 minutes before we need to play the end. We're running a poll right now for people to vote if employing a strategy is a skill. So, all right. And lastly, what's your favorite book-based role-playing game? Imperial Assault has a book with it. Does that count? Imperial Assault has, a dungeon master. But it's a board game.
Yeah. If it's got a book, I suppose, yeah, if it's got a book, you can class it.
All right. So mine would be Imperial Assault. What about you?
I don't have a favorite because I don't play them. I just don't. I like my board games with dice or with letters, or if I'm drunk, I do love a good old game of Pictionary, because Pictionary's awesome when you're half cut or stoned, because those drawings get really, really amusing. Come on, they do. I
can see it. I'm not judging you. I'm agreeing with you that it does.
Good. Yeah, excellent. I mean, they're not just Pictionary. There's I'm trying to think of other drawing ones now. No, Pictionary. Pictionary is the ultimate drawing one.
Well, there's not just it's what, Cranium. Cranium uses drawing.
Cranium?
So
I've never played Cranium before. Cranium's not one I've played before. What's that?
Cranium is a mixture of sculpting, drawing, and trivia.
Sculpting?
Yeah, you get clay.
Oh God! No, that's probably why I've never played that type of game before. Those types of if the game's I'm not interested in messy games. It's like that pie. There was a pie game once that I got that I got for my youngest because all the kids wanted it, and basically it's a pie on a hand, and you put your face in front of it, and everybody has to take their turn putting it in front of it, and the loser is the person that gets the pie in the face. And I'm like, I'm not interested in games that create a mess. Definitely not. I like the calm and the quiet of, chess or checkers. I mean, I like Scrabble because it's social, and Yahtzee because it's social, and Monopoly because it's social. But like games like Othello, Risk, chess, checkers. What?
I just got the results of the poll, and you contributed 30,200 channel points to vote no a whole bunch.
Yeah.
The final tally, 71% says no, 29% says yes. Neil counts.
So I was right then. So I was correct.
61% of the 71%. I'm just going to say that much. All right, Neil, anything
why
else
democracy doesn't
wrap
work.
it up?
No, I'm good, mate.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this week. We really appreciate it. We're going to find somebody to raid. We're going to raid into them for those that are watching on Twitch. For those that are listening on the show, swing into our Discord. We'd love to see you there. Thank you so very, very much, everybody. We hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Be nice to each other, damn it. Neil?
Yes, mate. You got it. Ta-ta for now, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit. Good dog.